This is a horror anthology series where each episode features a different story and different characters. Let's begin. The reflection that wasn't me. I never believed in haunted things. Spirits? Sure. Curses? Maybe. But a mirror? That felt like something out of a cheap movie. That was before I found the old vanity on the side of the road. It was strange. Perfect condition, not a single crack in the glass, just sitting on the curb with a sign that read "Free." I was broke and needed furniture for my new apartment, so I took it. No hesitation. That night, I cleaned it up and placed it in my room. The mirror gleamed in the soft light, almost like it was breathing. I told myself I was just tired. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to a tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. I sat up in bed, heart pounding. My room was silent. Then I saw it. There I was in the mirror, lips moving as if someone was speaking to me. I shook my head, assuming it was a trick of the light, and rolled over. But then the whispering started. It was coming from the mirror, now closer. You could hear the individual words, although what they meant made no sense. "You must leave," it said. "Why?" I called out. No response, only the incessant tapping. It grew louder, more frantic. Tap, 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 then silence. Just my own ragged breathing filling the space between us. And suddenly, I was filled with a primal fear. I knew I should get out of there, run as fast as I could, but my body wouldn't respond. Like some ancient ritual, I was rooted to the spot, unable to break free of the spell the mirror had cast over me. The next morning after, of course, not sleeping a wink, I got up and threw a sheet over the mirror. That seemed like the rational thing to do. But really, I was hoping it would just go away. As if. When I returned home from work later that evening, the sheet was on the floor and the mirror was uncovered once more. Had I been imagining things? Was I going crazy? Or was this mirror a gateway to something dark and sinister? The days that followed were a blur. Work kept me busy during the waking hours, but once night fell, I was at the mercy of whatever entity resided in that damned mirror. I tried everything, covering the mirror with a cloth, hammering it with a nail, even dousing it with holy water. Nothing worked. And it wasn't just the whispering now. Objects moved, lights flickered, the air grew cold and heavy. It was like an invisible presence was stalking me, taunting me with its nearness. Then came the dreams. Nightmares, actually, that made me question my sanity. I dreamed of cobwebs and dust, of a Victorian house with peeling wallpaper and flickering gaslights. In this house, there was a full-length mirror, ornate, gilded, and beautiful. And every night I dreamed the same dream. I would approach the mirror. I could feel its icy breath on my neck, hear its whispers urging me closer. Then, as I reached out to touch it, I would wake with a gasp. One particularly vivid dream stands out. I found a diary in the house in the attic. Its pages chronicled the life of a woman named Eliza, who was engaged to be married, but the love of her life died suddenly, leaving her heartbroken. Desperate for a way to communicate with him, she stumbled upon an old book detailing rituals to summon spirits. On the advice of that book, she performed a ritual in front of her dressing table mirror and managed to speak with her fiancé one last time. However, he warned her against continuing their conversation because whatever she was doing was unholy and dangerous. But Eliza, blinded by grief, ignored his warning and stayed connected to him through the mirror, drawing on his energy until he became a gaunt, tormented spirit, screaming at her to stop. She broke off the ritual, but it was too late. The spirit was trapped and bound to the mirror. When I awoke from that dream, I realized with a jolt that Eliza and I shared the same name. I dismissed it as coincidence. What else could I do? I couldn't keep running from this thing. I had to face it. I decided then I would destroy the mirror. I would smash it, obliterate it. But I also wanted answers. So before I destroyed the mirror, I would use it one last time. I would speak to whoever was trapped inside and demand an explanation. That night I stood before the mirror and confronted whatever was hiding in it. "Who are you?" I screamed, tears streaming down my face. "What do you want from me?" From the swirling darkness within the glass, a form began to emerge, pale and beautiful with long flowing hair and sad eyes. "Don't you recognize me?" she asked softly. I thought you might have remembered, but perhaps it has been too long. Look more closely, Eliza." And as she spoke, the mist cleared, revealing a face that was hauntingly familiar. It was me. Well, it looked like me, but there was something off about it. The eyes, they held a bottomless sadness. Her lips were parted slightly as if in a silent scream. But before I could process what I was seeing, the figure lunged toward me, her fingers scrabbling at the glass. "Help me!" she cried, her voice echoing with despair. "Set me free!" But it was too late. The connection snapped. The figure crumpled to the floor and the mirror went dark. I stumbled back, my mind reeling. What had I unleashed? The figure stirred, pushed herself up on shaky limbs, and slowly turned to face me. For a moment, our eyes locked, and I saw a flicker of recognition cross her face, quickly replaced by hatred. "You betrayed me," she hissed, her voice a raspy whisper. "I trusted you." With that, she vanished into the swirling mists of the mirror. In the morning, I found the diary lying open beside the mirror. The last entry was dated the same day I found the mirror. On the side of the road, Eliza wrote that she had met a girl in a dream, a girl who reminded her of herself, except her eyes were filled with darkness. The girl had promised her answers if she would let her in. And as Eliza slept, she prepared to welcome her. The entry ended abruptly. The rest of the pages were blank. I stared at the mirror, its surface dark and lifeless. Had I done the right thing? Had I imprisoned that creature back in its mirror prison, or had I unleashed something terrible into the world? I never saw that girl again, but I still ask myself that question. Sometimes in my dreams, I hear her voice echo, a constant reminder of the darkness that lies just beneath the surface. I cover the mirrors in my house with sheets, not out of fear, but out of respect for the girl trapped inside them, waiting for the day she might be set free. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. And remember to turn on the bell icon so you never miss any updates on future uploads. Also be sure to check out these other stories. And have a great day. Bye.